One of the biggest reasons a lot of golfers lack distance is because they don't understand how to properly load the trail foot. Today I'm going to show you how you can do that and not sway off the golf ball, actually load off the golf ball. And when you do that, I guarantee you're going to add 10, 15, maybe even 30 yards to your drives. I'm PGA teaching professional Todd Kolb, Director of Instruction for US Golf TV, and there's a lot of confusion out there between loading the trail foot and swaying. So we're going to talk about that. What's the difference between the two? I'm going to show you specifically where you should be loading that pressure on that trail foot. And as always, I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that, especially for my older golfers. You know who you are, my experienced golfers. So let's dive right into it. So when we start talking about loading the trail foot, first of all, let's describe what load is versus sway. So we'll always start, if you watch any of my videos, you know this already, we like to start with a little bit of weight on the lead foot, about 60%, because we know if we start with a little bit of weight on our lead foot and we move that weight, that pressure towards our trail foot, that movement gives us momentum, gives us distance, gives us club head speed, but it's also wonderful for your tempo and your rhythm. So as we start a little on the lead, we move to the trail, right? When you move that weight towards that trail foot, you gotta make sure that the weight stays on the inside of the trail foot. So let me go ahead and first of all hit a shot, and this is gonna be a sway. All right, this is gonna be a sway. So I want you to watch my feet. I'm gonna start lead, I'm gonna go to trail, but that weight's gonna move to the outside of my trail foot. This might look like your golf swing. Right, here we go. Start a little lead, move trail, but it moved to the outside, right? You can see how it moved to the outside of my trail foot. Contact was not good, no club head speed, no distance. So what we want to do, and I'm going to show you actually how you can do that, a couple drills and focus points that you can do to make sure you're loading that trail foot correctly. So here we go. Now I'm going to do them correct. Watch the feet again. Same setup. I'm starting a little lead, 60%. I'm going to go trail. Oh yeah, definitely more solid. You can hear the speed. You can hear the contact. All right, much better. Now, when you get that weight moving to that trail foot, okay, you want that weight to stay on the inside of the foot there, like that, right? Now, how do you do that? I don't know if you picked that up. Watch my leg, right here, watch. When I trail leg, when my right knee releases a little bit, okay, that allows me to turn my hip, but I can actually load into my hip. I'm gonna give you a little tip that you can do that I picked up from one of our research guys that really helped me add distance and club head speed to a lot of my students. So you start lead, you move trail, but let that trail leg release a little bit. And as you do that, feel like the weight goes to the inside of the foot here. Let me go ahead and hit one more, and I'm gonna share with you that tip that we have about in a drill you can do. So here we go. I'm gonna load versus sway. Here we go, start lead, release the trail leg. That was even more solid. Okay, so that's tip number one. If you want to load the trail foot versus sway, let the trail leg release. Now, let me give you another tip here. I'll give you a little bit of drill. Now, if you haven't done this already, hey, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Join the family at US Golf TV. We love hearing from you. Also, let me know where you're from. We're getting people from all over the world. It is crazy. Tell a friend about us and hit that subscribe button, of course, and ring the bell so you know when we put new content out, because we're here to help you, of course, play better golf. All right, so what's another tip? Now this one is more down the line. This time we're gonna watch the hip, okay? We talked about the foot, we talked about the knee, now we're gonna talk about the hip. Okay, this is what we call hip hinge, okay? So I'm gonna lift my shirt up here a little bit. I want you to look at my belt, okay? Got your belt buckle here, right? Got this here, I got my mic on the back. So, when the front of my belt is a little bit lower than the back of my belt, you can see that, right? Okay, I have hip hinge. This is a good thing. Okay, hip hinge is good. A lot of you, when you address the ball, you sit like this. See that? No hip hinge. See how the belt is flat? Doesn't work. Front of the belt down, back of the belt up. That's hip hinge. That engages your core, engages your glutes, okay, gets you ready to swing the golf club. Now, as you rotate, this is the key tip. Pay attention right here. This is the golden nugget. As you rotate, that trail leg releases, right? But see if you can maintain that hip hinge. You see that? When I do that, like I can feel my glutes activating right now. I can feel that. Okay, I feel tension and pressure and power. I also feel the weight on the inside of my my trail foot. Let me do the opposite. Okay, and I'm gonna show you a drill you can do to tie all this together. So I got my hip hinge. Okay, the opposite would be to keep this flexed. End up, see that? And there's your sway. Boom, see? Most people are swaying in their hips, not on their feet. They're thinking about it in their feet, okay? But it's actually in your hips. So when you rotate, maintain your hip hinge, let the trail leg release a little bit. If you do that, you're gonna feel it immediately. You're gonna go to the range, you're gonna go home, you're like, whoo, that felt different today. And the ball's gonna fly different. All right, so here we go. So let me actually hit a shot from down the line. I want you to watch the hips this time, and then I'm gonna give you a little tip, a little drill you can do to master that. All right, here we go. We're talking about loading the trail foot versus swaying to give us more power. This is the old method. Start lead, and I want you to watch the hips this time. Okay, you see my hips just rise, go level? Terrible shot, terrible shot. Here we go, here's what we want. Let me do it in slow motion. Move to the trail foot, leg releases, maintain hip hinge. See that? That's the golden spot. Let me go ahead and hit one. Watch the hips this time. I'm gonna pull my shirt up here again so you can see it. Oh yeah. That's how you load the trail foot. That's how you get power. That's how you get club head speed. All right, now I promised you a little tip here at the end. So I think the best way to practice this is to just do rehearsals. And then for those of you who like to videotape your swing, got something for you to look. All right, so what I would do with a student, I would just have them rehearse that. I'd get set up, I'd say, okay, Nick's my camera guy. You know, everybody here knows Nick. He's behind the camera right there. He's taking good care of us, right? I say, all right, Nick, take it to the top, release the trail leg, okay, maintain hip hinge. And I would have him rehearse that, boom, a couple times. All right, and then we just go ahead and hit a shot. Now the reason I like to do that versus specific drills is because you're tying a couple concepts together. Pressing the trail foot, right knee released, hip hinge. All right, makes sense? So that's how I would practice it. Rehearse it, feel it, then hit a shot. Now, last tip I'm gonna give you right here. How do you know if you're doing that? How do you know if you're doing that? All right, let me give you the answer to that. It's pretty simple. I'll give you a little golden nugget here that golf instructors look for. Notice my knees right now. This time we're watching my knees. When I take it to the top, when I do this correctly, do you see the spacing there? See the space between my lead knee and my trail knee? That's what I'm looking for. If I see that space, I know that the weight's on the trail foot, I know the trail knee has released, I know they've maintained hip hinge, but more importantly, we've loaded and not swayed. One last shot here. Watch the knees, watch the gap. Here we go. Ooh, best shot of the day. All right. That's how you're gonna add 10, 15, 30 yards to your drives. You're gonna learn to rotate and load the trail foot, not sway. This tip right here today is gonna help you do that.